Welcome back to another nature figure review. Today we're looking at the SH Figuarts Nezuko Komodo, and a lot of you are going to ask, how does this figure stack against the M.A.R.S mod and against Figma? Well, this figure is in its own lane, and there are some aspects about this figure that excel way beyond that of the M.A.R.S mod and maybe even the Figma as well. Overall, I will say M.A.R.S mod is the better figure, but this figure is a great option. So with that out of the way, let's go ahead and get into the review. SH Figuarts Nezuko Komodo is officially here, and I know most of you are very excited to see how this figure compares against the others like M.A.R.S mod and like Figma, and just how the figure stands on its own. So without further ado, let's get this figure out of the box and have a closer look. First thing I want to go over is the box that the figure comes in. We're following that same pattern as the Tanjiro with the backdrop. His was green, now we have that pink there. And I like the box art. I think the it just looks good, the kanji's on there, and overall it's a very appealing box art. And you don't get that with every SH Figuart line. Now when it comes to the figure itself, I mean, we're getting 6 faceplates. That is very, very good. Now the one thing is that these two here, these two faceplates, because of the eyes, they don't have that slit down the middle. I want to say that these two faceplates here are going to be your season 3 ending faceplates, which makes this the most up-to-date Nezuko figure on the market. Okay, and then you're going to be getting 3 pairs of hands. You have this additional set of hands here with the Tanjiro and Nezuko holding hands, and then you have this bottom piece here for Nezuko sitting down. Now we didn't get that with the other lines, so it's an interesting add-on, it's an interesting take from Tamashii Nations. With that out of the way, let's get this figure out of the plastic and take a look at the size comparisons. Here is Nezuko next to the SH Figuarts Tanjiro. Here she is next to the SH Figuarts Naruto, Marvel Legends Deadpool, and then lastly we have Storm Collectibles Evil Ryu. Now, let's bring Nezuko in and see what makes her different from the rest. There are some differences with this figure compared to the rest. Now, let's go ahead and start off with the head sculpt. So you can remove the head sculpt here. And then the one thing I'll say is that the head sculpt itself, there are joints here in the back for the hair, but the hair really doesn't go out that much. It's not like the M.A.R.S mod, where in the M.A.R.S mod you can have the hair all the way like back here, but you see you can't do it but so much. Yeah, maybe if you were to flip it around, maybe you could do it like that. I guess that's one way you could do it, is just pull it out and then flip it around. But on its own accord, the articulation really isn't all that great for the hair. And then when you go to swap out a faceplate, one cool aspect with this figure is that each faceplate can have this piece here, the mouthpiece. So let's go ahead and change out a faceplate real quick. And then when you remove the faceplate, you have to remove this hair piece. I will say, you can see like the little prongs here along the forehead. I feel like this mechanic could have been done a bit better, just because it's not always 100% accuracy where you go to put in everything. You have to start from like one side and then kind of work your way around. You see how it is there? So just be mindful of that. But then when you go to take the faceplate off, like this is all one piece here, so a lot's going on with the head. And then let's get this head's faceplate here, and then go ahead and put it on. No issues there, right? But then coming back to this mouthpiece here, there are some slots in there. I'm not sure if you can see them. Yeah, you can see them there on this side and on this side. So you put the faceplate in like so, then you grab your mouthpiece and then you just slide it down. So there you go. So every faceplate can have this mouthpiece. And then when you go to put the hair back on, just kind of make sure you line up the holes there all the way around. And then push. You can kind of see the struggle here, and then there it goes. Now that is how you swap out the faceplates and mouthpiece. Now, when it comes to the figure itself, the articulation, you know, it's good. I feel comfortable with this articulation. I feel the quality is good. And going back to what I was saying about BuzzMod is that there are two aspects with this figure. One, I'm going to say, is the overall aesthetic. Like, this figure does capture it from the anime quite well. And then two is just the overall feel for the figure. Like, I do enjoy the articulation. I think the articulation is good. Yeah, we're not getting the soft, good robe. We're not getting this soft, good kimono like the BuzzMod. But the articulation, like in the arms and things like that, it's pretty good. Now, when you get down here to the legs, that's where it can be frustrating. But that's always going to be the case because we have this soft plastic kimono here. So those are the two things with the BuzzMod. And then with here, you can lift it up like so, which is pretty cool. I guess you can interpret this two different ways. One, you know, Nezuko does tend to grow taller. She has that ability. So that can be one way to interpret this. The other way is just to maybe help with articulation. And then I guess a third way would be to just have battle damage, right? Which brings me into my next point, is that you can actually take apart the lower half. So here's our upper half exposed. So think about it, you know, you could have her laid out, blood going everywhere, etc. So then here's the bottom half here, and this is what you're looking at. This is how it goes. As you can see, I mean, like, the articulation would be good. It's just because it's all confined like this, you're not going to get the best articulation out of the legs. So as we move in to this lower piece here, which is a new addition all the way around, you want to just slide this down in here. Now, real quick, I wanted to point out that you can also, when you go to put this on, to pull these out, then it just makes it look more natural, as you can see. Okay, bye. Make sure that the white on this is down to slide in here. Okay, and then there you go there. That's for this. So now what we need to do is, there we go. We come back over here, we can actually pull these legs out. So this is another, hold on. Okay, this is another cool aspect, just because you can have battle damage done to Nezuko, in a sense. And then you just slide those in here, like so. So that's going to be like the key unique features with this release, is going to be like the sitting down, the mouthpiece, the articulation, of course, you know. I feel like it's good on the upper half of the body. I don't have any issues with the arms. With the head, you know, limited movement in the head because all this plastic here, and then like the range really isn't all that great for the hair. Let's see. But yeah, I mean, really, those are like the key aspects with this figure when considering between the three. No soft goods, but you do have the sit down effect. You have the mouthpiece that you can do as well. You are getting a bunch of display options, right? You have a lot of pairs. You have you know, the pairs of hands, 5 faceplates, incredible. Probably going to be the most up-to-date Nezuko, because now she can withstand the sun. So there's that. Let's go ahead and jump into the faceplates and pairs of hands, and then we'll wrap this up with a conclusion. Alright, so here is the first faceplate here, where she's pretty much angry. You can see the vein popping in her forehead. Now let's move on to the other 4 here. Next up here is our, I want to say, daylight faceplate. Here's our open mouth, shocked, happy faceplate. Our neutral faceplate. Here's her laughing faceplate. And then lastly, our shocked faceplate. Now let's get into the pairs of hands. To kick off the pairs of hands, we're going to be looking at the Nezuko Tanjiro holding hand, which is right here. As you can see, it's going to go on the left hand of Nezuko and on the right hand of Nezuko and on the left hand of Tanjiro. And that's how you do it there. That's how it looks like. I think it looks good. It works great because they can both have that walking motion while keeping each other up. Pretty cool concept. Now let's go ahead and see the rest. So here are the rest of the hands, and we have our closed fist here. It's kind of like a cute closed fist. We have our relaxed hands, and then we have, I want to say, like our demon art hands. One thing I'll give Figma is that they actually included a blood demon art hand. I think Tamashii Nations dropped the ball because there's obviously room for that here. So that's one thing I will give Figma for their Nezuko, is that they did include that pink red hand. Now let's go ahead and look at the articulation. Alright, now we did briefly touch on this in the beginning of the video, but let's go ahead and do it like this. So to look down, this much here for Nezuko, pretty decent. And to look up, again, it's pretty good. It's just that, you know, the hair in the back really doesn't give you a lot of movement as well. You can kind of lean side to side as well, as you can see there. For the arms are good though. You know, you have your double jointed arms, all like same as Tanjiro. You have all these joints coming down, so you have your bicep swivel. I mean, your swivel has a swivel basically, right? Butterfly joints is there a little bit as well. Pretty darn good. And then up here, of course, you can do a little tuck for the upper half, and there's her hair coming out there, you can see. And then for the back, that's what you're gonna get. So as long as you can, you know, position this figure in a way to where it's not too noticeable here, then I think you'll be fine. But there is that option there for you as well. Hold on, her hair is bothering me. So yeah, just keep the hair in mind when posing the figure and just changing the figure out and stuff like that. Now for the lower end, you're not going to get pretty much anything because it's all like, you know, kind of one piece or whatever. You can twist a little bit. Basically all the articulation for the torso is going to come from the upper torso, or the upper part here. The lower part, just don't even acknowledge it, right? For the legs here, you have movement, but you have to be careful because of the soft goods here. You know, it's like Zoro, but I'll say Zoro wasn't, or this figure isn't as bad as Zoro. And then, you know, your toe can go out here. You have your toe can extend, pivot, come off. Let's see, rock side to side a little bit. But yeah, the articulation on the bottom half of this figure is not going to be good. And I think that's where a lot of people are going to run into frustration, is going to be the bottom half of this figure. Let alone just like how it looks aesthetically in the back is just like not appealing at all. And that just goes to the fact of, you know, it's all soft goods. Or I'm sorry, soft plastic. So maybe they'll reissue this line years from now and it's soft goods if the line is thriving as well. But for the price that you're paying for this figure, I almost wonder if it's better to just save, because I think this figure went for $70. So if you can get the Nezuko for $100, but then again, and that's like the thing with BuzzMod, you know, because this figure I think looks more accurate to the source material. So if you're looking for aesthetic and not too bad articulation, I think this is a good figure. I think they all stand in their own league. Overall, I personally feel that the BuzzMod is a better figure. And the Figma I don't have much experience with. So I would say like the Figma and this is like neck and neck. with Buzzmod being the overall choice just because of the amount of soft goods. And if you can find a Nezuko Buzzmod for like $100, I think you're winning. For this figure, I believe it was $80, something like that. So definitely going to be the best value figure of the three. I mean, you are getting 5 faceplates, you're getting a mouthpiece accessory, you're getting like a sit-down accessory. So this figure does stand on its own, and it's worth the amount versus like the Figma. Whereas I think you only get one soft good item with that release, and then it costs, I think, upwards to maybe $80 to $100. So it's a tough one, but I think overall this figure looks the most accurate to the source material, and I think the pricing is going to be decent as well. But if you can get a Buzz mod, definitely go for the Buzz mod if you can get it for that price. Figma, the only thing really for me going for Figma is that Blood Demon art hand. I think that's brilliant. But yeah, that will conclude this review. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next month for Giyu for the Demon Slayer line. Thank you and peace.